We are solving another problem which came in the year 2004 in the GATE exam. Start and stop bits do not contain any information but are used in serial communication for. So here we are concentrating on start and stop bits, and which do not contain any information but are used in serial communication for. So we are having four options here. There is the error correction, there is error detection at first, then we are having the error correction, synchronization, and the last one is slowing down the communication. So we are having four options are there. So we are supposed to consider them one by one. So at first we are going to discuss what is the serial communication. So in case of serial communication or in case of asynchronous communication, there only I require the start and stop bits. So you know that we are having two types of communication. One is the synchronous. So if you consider, so we are having one communication, there is a synchronous, and another one is the asynchronous. So what is the difference between synchronous and asynchronous communication? In case of synchronous communication, there will be a constant clock pulse. We know that clock pulse means we will be having a signal like this one. So just consider this one as, so we are having this one as, this is the clock pulse. We can consider this one as a clock pulse. So this is a clock pulse. So if the bit communication or bit transmission takes place with respect to the clock pulse, that means synchronized with the clock pulse. That means either in the positive edge or in the negative edge, the clock pulse of the clock pulse, the bits are being transferred. So that is known as the synchronous communication. In case of asynchronous communication, no such clock pulse is required. In case of asynchronous communication, we can consider the transmission of data can take place at any instant of time. Just consider this respective text here. So in telecommunications, asynchronous communication is transmitting data or transmission of data generally without the use of an external clock signal. So that is the main purpose here, and where the data can be transmitted intermittently and rather than in a steady stream. So in case of asynchronous transmission, in case of serial communication, we usually transfer our data as when required. So any timing required to recover data from the communication symbols is encoded with these symbols only, within the symbols only. So that means that, let us suppose just consider this diagram. So here we are having this data. So here we are having the payload or data. So you see this data is being guided by in between start and stop bits. So here we can find this one start and this is my stop. So here also we are having this stop, here we are having this start. So what is happening? This is my sender and this is my receiver, and data is being transferred from the sender to the respective receiver. So that is the direction of flow of data. So now what will happen? So when the sender is sending the data and the data is being guided through this communication channel, and receiver is receiving this data, and all this data is being enclosed within the start and stop bits. Because in case of asynchronous transmission, in case of serial communication, we can transmit our data as when required, not synchronized with the clock pulse, not depending on the rising edge or the falling edge of the clock pulse. So you can consider that this is my rising edge and this is my falling edge. So this is a rising edge and this is a falling edge. So falling and rising, two edges are there. So in case of asynchronous transmission, no clock pulse is required at all. So now what is happening? Just go for the options now. So if you consider this error detection, you can find this is not the right option. We're having this error correction is also not inclined with this serial communications, which is being guided by the start and stop bits. But this synchronization is very important. Synchronization between the sender and the receiver. The receiver must understand that data is coming. So whenever the receiver will be sensing this start bits, whenever receiver is sending this start bits, so now it will get the idea, yes, the data is going to start being transmitted. So this is the data part and this is the stop bits are there. And so slowing down the communication is not a valid option here. So I shall be discarding this one. So I shall be sticking with the option, that is option number C. That is, the start and stop bits do not contain any information but are used in serial communication for the synchronization purpose. Thanks for watching this video.